So everyone says Colombia's coffee access is paradise, but what does it actually cost to live here? Today we're in Manizales, mountain air, fresh coffee, and views that look photoshopped. And I'm breaking down what life here would really cost if you decided to call this place home. We'll check out apartments for rent and for sale, real grocery prices, how much it costs to fly or bus to another city, and whether this quiet mountain city might just beat Bogotá or Medellin for your next chapter. Let's find out if Manizales really is Colombia's most underrated city to live in. Hey, I'm Matt. Welcome to the Americano, where we explore what life abroad actually looks like, from real budgets to the hidden gems you could actually live in. So today we're seeing how far your money would go here in Manizales. And if you're thinking about moving abroad, make sure you join my free weekly newsletter, The Passport. It's where I share cost breakdowns, visa updates, and the kind of details you won't find in travel videos. Manizales sits up high in Colombia's Andes, about 2,150 meters, or just over 7,000 feet above sea level. That altitude gives it a permanent spring-like climate around 60 to 70 degrees Fahrenheit or 16 to 21 degrees Celsius all year long. It's part of Colombia's famous coffee axis, surrounded by mountains and coffee farms in every direction. The air is crisp, the hills are steep, and if you walk everywhere, congratulations, you'll never need leg day again. This city's home to about 400,000 people, but it feels smaller, like a big university town with a strong local identity. You'll find lively plazas, local markets, and some of the most genuinely friendly people I've met anywhere in Colombia. If you're the type who loves mountain views, slower mornings, and great coffee, this place is dangerously easy to fall in love with. One of the biggest questions people ask before moving to a smaller city is, can I actually get anywhere from there? Manizales is surprisingly connected. It's about 5 to 6 hours by road to either Bogotá or Medellin, and just over an hour to Pereira or Armenia, both of which are part of Colombia's coffee axis triangle. The city's La Nubia airport is tiny but functional. Short runway, smaller planes, daily flights to Bogotá and Medellin. Those usually cost around 356,000 pesos or $89 each way if you book early. But an hour away in Pereira, you can fly to Bogotá for as little as 72,000 pesos or $18. Prefer to travel by bus? A direct trip to Medellin runs about 60,000 pesos or $15 and takes 5 to 6 hours. Bogotá is about 7. You can also hop a quick bus to Pereira for about 18,000 Colombian pesos or $4.50. Perfect for weekend trips. So while it's tucked in the mountains, Manizales doesn't feel cut off. It's more like being in a peaceful hub surrounded by adventure. If you hate extremes, you'll love Manizales. The weather barely changes. Mid-60s Fahrenheit or about 18 degrees Celsius almost every day of the year. No AC, no heater, no snow boots. Mornings usually start cool and misty, afternoons warm up, and by evening, you're pulling on a light jacket with a view of clouds drifting between the mountains. Because of the altitude, the air feels crisp and clean, and the city's greenery stays vibrant all year. Rain showers roll through, but they never last long. It's more like nature's way of hitting the refresh button. For retirees, that means comfortable breathing and low humidity. For digital nomads, it's basically the world's biggest open-air co-working space with a built-in fog machine. Now let's talk housing, because this is where Manizales really shows its range. In Colombia, neighborhoods are organized into what's called an estrato, or socioeconomic tier, running from 1 to 6. It's mainly used to calculate utility rates, with lower estratos paying less and higher ones paying more. Estrato 3 areas are safe, local middle-class neighborhoods with lower living costs, while 5 and 6 are more upscale, modern, secure, and filled with amenities. Let's take a look at a few real estate listings from each. First, in Estrato 3, we've got some solid budget-friendly options. A 3-bedroom apartment in Aranjuez rents for just about 1 million pesos or about $250 a month. In La Enia, another 3-bedroom apartment with 2 baths runs 1,200,000 pesos or $300. If you prefer a house, you can find a 3-bedroom home in Istanbul for 1,200,000, again $300, or another in La Cumbre for 1,700,000, about $425. These are safe local neighborhoods with family-owned shops and easy access to transportation. A great fit if you want an authentic experience on a smaller budget. Next, moving up to a Strato 5, which is where you start seeing modern conveniences and better finishes. In Los Laureles, a 3-bedroom apartment rents for about $1,873,000 or roughly $470 US. Or if you'd rather have a house, Cerro de Oro has a 3-bedroom, 3-bath home for $3,600,000 pesos or about $900 a month. These neighborhoods are quiet, safe, and close to cafes and shopping, perfect for remote workers or families. And finally, at the high end, a Strato 6. In Palermo, a modern 3-bedroom apartment rents for around $2,900,000 pesos or $725. And if you want more space, El Arenillo has a 3-bedroom, 4-bath house with 220 square meters for $4,700,000 pesos or about $1,175 US per month. These areas are modern, secure, and come with those panoramic Manizales views that make you forget rent is even due. If you're thinking of buying, a Strato 3 has the most affordable options. A 3-bedroom apartment in Villa Pilar lists for 190 million pesos, which is about $47,500 US. Another right downtown in Centro is 290 million pesos or $72,500. For houses, La Sultana has a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home for 330 million pesos or $82,500, and Minitas has a similar layout for 350 million pesos or $87,500. These are great starter properties, clean, functional, and in safe local areas. Moving up to a Strato 5, you'll find a mix of newer condos and stylish houses. In Colseguros, a 3-bedroom apartment with modern finishes lists for 399 million pesos or about $99,750 US. And a 3-bedroom, 3-bath house in Cerro de Oro is around 680 million pesos, roughly $170,000. Both give you more space, newer construction, and those sweeping coffee region views. Finally, in a Strato 6, we're talking full comfort and city views. In Palermo, a large 3-bedroom, 2-bath apartment lists for 420 million pesos, about 105,000 US. And in San Marcel, one of the most exclusive neighborhoods in Manizales, a 3-bedroom, 3-bath house is priced at 950 million pesos, or around $237,500. These homes are modern, secure, and surrounded by cafes, restaurants, and shopping, ideal for anyone who wants an upscale but still affordable lifestyle. From $250 apartments in safe local neighborhoods to $1,000 luxury homes with mountain views, Manizales offers options for every lifestyle. And remember, those Strato differences affect your utilities too, but even upscale living here can still feel surprisingly affordable. Utilities in Manizales are refreshingly affordable, and because of the mild climate, you won't be running air conditioning or heating, which keeps costs low year-round. For a standard apartment, electricity runs around 85,000 to 130,000 pesos. That's about $21 to $32 a month. Water and sewer about 72,000 or $18 a month. And gas for cooking or hot water about 12,000 to 16,000 or $3 to $4 per month. That puts the total utility cost somewhere near 195,000 pesos or $49 per month, a fraction of what most people pay in the US. As for internet, speeds are solid for remote work. You'll find fiber connections around 500 megabits for 72,000 pesos or $18 a month with major providers like Claro, Tigo, or Movistar. And in Colombia, there's no games like Time Warner, Charter, Comcast, and others play by drastically increasing your bill after 12 months. In Colombia, this is your bill all the time, with maybe a slight inflationary increase from year to year, but it's minimal. And I pay 49,900 Colombian pesos for a cellular plan with 60 gigabytes of data, which I never exceed. That's $12.50 per month. You're definitely not doing that in the US. And unlimited only goes to 69,900 pesos or $17.50 a month. And Tigo even offers another unlimited plan for 109,900 pesos, which is $27.50. That includes international roaming and Amazon Prime. So whether you're uploading YouTube videos, working remotely, or streaming 4K, you won't have to worry about buffering in the mountains. Now let's talk food, because this is where Manizales quietly wins. If you buy local, groceries here are shockingly inexpensive. A half kilo of fresh coffee beans costs about 20,000 pesos or $5 US. 30 eggs around 11,000 pesos or $2.75. Yeah, that comes out to like $1.10 for 12 eggs. bags. And tropical fruit like papaya, mango, and pineapple are sold by the kilo for what you'd pay for a single piece in the US. I checked prices at Exito, Deono, and the local markets, and you could easily keep your monthly grocery bill around 340,000 pesos or $85 a month for one person, or 680,000 pesos or $170 for a couple eating well. Eating out is just as friendly on the wallet. A full lunch special, soup, main course, juice, and dessert runs about 12,000 pesos or $3 US. A nice dinner for two with wine might set you back 140,000 pesos or $35, and that's tip included. Case in point, I actually ate at the Torre 2160 restaurant and bar in the Torre Chipre 360-degree tower in the Chipre neighborhood. This is a restaurant and a tourist attraction, so you'd expect it to cost more. Well, here's my receipt. A bottle of wine, a ceviche, a pulled pork sandwich, and a shrimp soup totaled 140,000 pesos or $35 US for two people. And of course, coffee is king here. A cappuccino or pour over from a specialty cafe costs about 8,000 pesos or $2 US. But the quality, Michelin star flavor. Basically, you can eat incredibly well here, fresh, healthy, and local, without spending anywhere near what you would in the US or Europe. Manizales isn't huge, so getting around is pretty simple and cheap. Buses cost about 2,600 pesos or 65 US cents per ride and cover pretty much the whole city. They're older but reliable. Taxis are everywhere. Most rides within the city run 5,000 to 10,000 pesos or $1.25 to $2.50. And for quick errands, you can also use InDriver or Cabify. And they actually have a cable car here that is 2,900 pesos or 75 cents. And yes, Rappi operates here too, so you can order groceries, restaurant meals, or pharmacy items straight to your door. If you live in El Cable or Chipre, most things are within walking distance, though fair warning, you'll be climbing hills both directions. Think of it as a free gym membership. Healthcare in Manizales is solid, and for a mid-sized mountain city, it actually punches above its weight. The main public option is the EPS system with several providers in town, and there are also good private clinics like Clínica Santiana and Abidante. For someone without insurance, a routine doctor visit runs about 200,000 pesos or $50 US. And depending on your visa, you'll most likely need private insurance, which can run anywhere from $60 to $250 per month, depending on your age and coverage, which can have your doctor's visits free just like the EPS offers or with a small copay. Pharmacies are everywhere, and you'll find that a lot of medications you need a prescription for in the US are available right over the counter. For day-to-day errands, you've got major supermarkets like Exito and Olympica, discount stores like Deuno, Ara, and yes, Rappi will deliver everything from toothpaste to Tylenol. So whether you're here long-term or testing the waters for retirement, you won't have to compromise on healthcare or basic comforts. Manizales has this perfect balance between small town friendliness and city energy. It's young, it's creative, and it's grounded, and you'll feel that within your first day here. There's a big university population which keeps things lively. You'll find plenty of coffee shops where half the tables are students and the other half are remote workers. Cafes like La Vieja Escuela and Cafe Tio Canijo double as social hubs. There are co-working spaces in El Cable, yoga studios tucked into the hills, and on weekends, people head to the hot springs at nearby Termales del Antonio, or take quick drives out to coffee farms. The expat community here is small, significantly smaller than Medellin or Bogotá, but that's what a lot of people like. It still feels authentic, and locals are friendly enough that you'll make connections fast if you try. Plus, Manizales hosts cultural events all year, the International Theater Festival, music concerts, and plenty of street fairs. It's a city that never feels boring, just calm in all the right ways. All right, let's put it all together. Here's what it might actually cost to live in Manizales depending on your lifestyle. If you're a digital nomad or solo traveler, renting a small furnished apartment, cooking most meals, and using buses or taxis, you're looking at roughly 1,800,000 pesos or $450 US per month. A comfortable couple may be working remotely, eating out often, keeping a housekeeper once or twice a week, and traveling occasionally would probably land around 3,600,000 or $800 per month. Of course, exchange rates change and lifestyles vary, But even at the higher end, you're still living incredibly well here for less than half of what it would cost in most US cities. So what are the pros and cons of living in Manizales? Let's start with the good, because there's a lot of it. The pros are the weather is perfect, spring all year, it's affordable, safe, clean, and friendly. You've got world-class coffee, good healthcare, and enough modern infrastructure to live comfortably without losing that small town charm. The cons are the hills. You'll either get in shape fast or learn to love taxis. The airport is small and flights can get canceled when the weather turns foggy. And if you're looking for a huge expat scene or wild nightlife, you'll find more of that in Medellin or Cartagena. But for peace, scenery, and everyday comfort, it's hard to beat. So would I live in Manizales? Honestly, yeah, I could. The climate is incredible. You wake up to cool mountain air, no humidity, no need for heating or air conditioning. It's perfect. The people are friendly, the city's clean, and the views never get old. But for me personally, I like a stronger restaurant scene. Bogotá and Paria both win in that category. And yes, we're doing Paria in 2 weeks. The only real con for me here, the hills. It feels like no matter where you go, you're walking uphill in both directions. It's great for cardio, terrible if you're carrying groceries. So while Manizales might not be my ideal long-term base, it's a really special city, one I'd come back to in a heartbeat. It's peaceful, it's scenic, and it's one of Colombia's most underrated gems. If you like this video, stick around because we're just getting started. I'll be covering destinations all over Colombia, not just the big cities like Bogotá and Medellin, but the smaller, off-the-beaten-path places too. Armenia, Paria, El Retiro, and plenty more. If you want to go deeper, make sure you check out my free weekly newsletter, The Passport. It's where I share country comparisons, visa updates, cost breakdowns, and even my monthly digital magazine with destination spotlights you can flip through anytime. I also publish Brokor, my newsletter on real estate and business opportunities abroad. Perfect if you're thinking of investing or building something internationally. And if you're in Bogotá, come join Bogotá Nomads. It's our local expat and nomad group where we host meetups, dinners, and community events. You'll find links for all of those in the description below. Finally, a big thank you. We just hit 5,000 subscribers, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate all of you who've been watching, liking, commenting, and sharing these videos. You're the reason I get to keep exploring and creating content like this. I'm Matt, and this is the Americano. I'll see you in the next city. Take care.